Hi, everyone. I'm so excited today. We have a phenomenal guest. Today's guest is a multi-hyphenate storyteller, a purpose-driven creator, and podcasting powerhouse. Yusuf Mista U Marshall is the founder of They Call Me Mista U, a bold podcast media brand featuring 4 dynamic shows centered on faith, transformation, and authentic conversation. He is a native of Brooklyn. He brings decades of experience. He's been a chef, state government leader, ordained minister, speaker, best-selling author, and certified high-performance coach, and the co-founder of Save the Children SC and the heart behind Maritime Media. So Mr. U is going to share with us how he's turned his story into a platform, and we are so happy to have you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on. That guy sounds, he does a lot of stuff. He sounds great.
Yes, you have been involved in a lot of things. So we're going to talk about everything today. And I can't wait to hear what you have to share with us, because we podcasters always need to have some type of just encouragement of how to let our voice be heard. And you're going to help us with that connection piece. So
My best.
Yes. So I know you're going to do great, and we're so excited. And so you have lived through some life. You've lived life. You've had some pivots in ministry, public service, maybe even some other experiences that we might want to hear about today. So for those who don't know your story, can you tell us what moments shaped the man behind the mic?
What was that shaped the man behind the mic? I've had a recent epiphany that I can't lean on the introvert, that I used to lean on all the time. I'm an introvert, so that's why I want to do this. I'm an introvert, so I want to do that. And I'm like, I'm sitting out here, I'm hearing people all across the world who are listening to our episodes. I'm like, can't use that one anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna need me a new brush. But I think one of the things that kind of shaped that was just having to have a voice at an early age, having to come out a bit. Being raised in New York City, you would think that, those kind of things are common, but people have challenges and struggles there too.
Yeah.
It's a very outspoken place. People say their opinions, and they don't really care how you feel about it a lot of the times. But
Yeah.
I lived in that place and hadn't really engaged in or immersed myself in a lot of the culture. But I was a latchkey kid. I had my own key, 11, 12 years old. My mother worked 2 jobs and went to school as well. So she was a super hard worker. She's from the Virgin Islands. She had a hard work ethic. She understood what that meant.
Yeah.
So I was on my own a good bit, managing things, even doing household chores and stuff. Just kind of learning how to find myself. And it was like, I really couldn't find myself in that place though. Right. When I left New York, that I really began to find my voice, because I didn't feel like I had anything that mattered the whole time I was there. I had dreamed of being a baseball player, and I didn't have anything that made me, feel like I was kind of coming out. I was Austin Entertainment. My mom was like, "No, you can't do that because it's not a stable job." Again, that work ethic thing again. She wanted me to do engineering, things like that. I'm like, I wanted to go into acting. No, she didn't encourage. I wanted to go into music. No, she didn't encourage that either, because so I had to learn how to find myself. And it wasn't until I left New York City, left my hometown, that I realized, you know what? It had something special to offer. I'm able to help people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what's happening with a lot of our shows. And even we get on shows like yours, that I get a chance to hear things. Because when you said that introduction, I wouldn't try to be facetious. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of those things.
Wow.
And it's not something, it's not in front of me. I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just something that I did.
Yeah.
I consider myself a jack of all trades and a wearer of many hats. I've done a lot of stuff. Sometimes I need my wife to remind me, what did I do again? So when you said that, I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. Like, wow, I didn't remember that stuff. So
yeah,
I think a real big pivot for me was just, beginning to kind of, start taking time to stop and reflect on what you've done, to look at what you came through and be appreciative, because a lot of folks, haven't done half of those things and they wish that they did. And I'm like, saying, like, I'm showing disdain for it. And I'm like, so I'm changing my life. I'm doing better.
Yeah.
looking at what I'm doing and what I have done and being appreciative. I'm like, I've helped folks along the way. I didn't realize that I had something special to offer. A few years ago to figure that out. After all these years I've been living, I didn't realize that I had something to offer. Not great. I'm not proud of that, but
But the thing is that you figured out along the way that, okay, so maybe I don't know what I'm doing right now. Maybe I don't know what's in my heart and what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel introverted. I feel like I'm trying to find my way. But along the way, you had enough faith to just try different things, right? Because that's all we can do is put one foot in front of the other. You try different things. And as you were trying those things, I love how you helped people around you. And as you were helping people, you found your purpose. And so it was like through your helping your community, helping the people in your life, you found purpose and passion for it. And I would love to know like okay, so you have a brand that just tell us about your podcast, tell us about your brand and what you talk about on your shows. What is your brand all about?
wow. Well, they call me Mr. U started in, I don't know how you got the name. The name didn't even come from me. It was kind of suggested. I was struggling with the name. It took me a long time to get a name. But that was the name of the first show that we ever did. The first podcast we ever did. And, I didn't want my name on it because, again, introvert, same thing. My name, I can't have my name on it. But that's how we started. We were just doing inspirational stuff at the time. I was doing Bible teaching. I was doing everyday inspirations. I would come out maybe 4 or 5 days a week and I would just do inspirational stuff for what people were dealing with in the world around us, pulling stories and topics from the news and media and everything, kind of just speaking to them, with an encouraging tone and kind of letting them know, you know what, even though this is going on, this is what, the promise is, this is what the legacy is for you, and
Right.
and kind of just encourage that. And it began to just grow. I started hearing from people from places I didn't expect. And it started to grow in listenership. And before you know it, it became the brand because I had so many shows underneath it that I couldn't keep it there. And so I just,
Wow.
now the brand that they call me Mr. U, I had like 8 shows at a time.
Wow.
And I was actually a panelist, a weekly panelist on 7 or 8 different shows, 4 or 5 days a week. So I was amazing. I was working, that was a lot. So what you're seeing now is 4 different shows. And I kind of feel like this is where it needs to be. I said that before and look what happened. But I think that's where it needs to be now. It's a happy medium and a nice balance where I'm doing what I want to do and I don't feel funny about what I'm doing.
Right.
Like I'm giving something back out. So they call me Mr. U the brand now. So we launched our flagship show, which is One-on-One with Mr. U. That's our interview show. That's probably our most popular show. We talk to people like yourself from across the world, literally, from Norway to Florida to everywhere. And we've been having some great conversations. I'm amazed at what I hear, and I learn and I grow from the interviews.
Wow.
So I'm the host. I learned so much. Yeah. And we just recently launched our Inspiration Stations, our other show, where I just speak to the people, just one-on-one talking to the people. We still talk about topics of the day and things that may be going on, maybe in the areas of ministry or in the community. We just kind of just speak to those things, and hopefully I try to lead with some encouragement words for them to start their day with and move on with. We have a sports-related show, our hometown NFL team. We just kind of have a show that we do for that. It's our first year, so we're seeing how that looks. It's just a fun opportunity from a partner of mine to kind of talk about our favorite team. So
yeah.
And the last show, the one that was unexpected, I was going to stop at 3. I said, "This is enough for me. I can handle this." And then, when you say you ain't going to do nothing else, something else happens. So It's just funny how that happens. But we started a men's roundtable series, which I'm very, very in love with.
Wow.
In all the interviews on our flagship show, One-on-One with Mr. U, I've been hearing so much from men. And I kept hearing the same consistent cry from them. Like, they're crying for community. They're crying for connection. They can't relate. They can't share and be transparent. I was hearing so much of like, we got to do something about this. I know that people have communities in their ministry, they can do those kind of things theoretically. But what I'm hearing is that something's not enough. I'm hearing like it's like lacking in some area. So I said, you know what? It was just a vision. It came on real quick, like a hurricane. It came on real quick.
Wow.
And we started this show and we did our premiere last month. And it was very, very successful. It went very, very well.
Wow.
Men from all over the country that jump into roundtables with us, usually 8 to 10 people max per episode. And we're hearing amazing stories of breakthrough, people who are learning how to connect, transparency, men spilling their lives on the air.
That's
a lot.
That's a movement. That is a movement.
It feels like it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for it at first.
That's amazing. And that's just what this is all about, really. Using these platforms, using podcasting, using online radio, which now we call podcasting and we syndicate it. That's what it's really all about. And I know a lot of people are thinking, yeah, but we're in it for the money. And yes, there can be money. It can be lucrative, but it can take time to build to that. And so a lot of us are doing this for the purpose of giving back to the community and bringing encouragement and hope to people. And like you solving problems in your community, like you heard the cry of men saying, hey, we need community, we need something. And you started that for them. And I think that that's what podcasting is all about. It's a solution. So I love that you just got in there and did the work. What does your day in the life look like? Because that's a lot of podcasting. So I'm wondering how do you manage the kind of the responsibilities of each of these shows? And do you have certain, maybe a boundaries or cutoff times when you don't work, certain times when, you work on this show one day and another show a different day? Just kind of tell us a little bit, walk us through your day in the life.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad I'm doing it now and not the other way. I'll tell you, when I had 13 different things going every week, that was rough. I was working 7 days a week, and my wife was letting me know.
But just that's it.
Pretty much. But now, I think I'm really taking the slow path to this. I know that people are chasing analytics and likes and subs. I get what's happening out there. We all can be subject to it. I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
There's 4 shows here, and I got to really plan around how this is going to work. There's 3 days a week that I work heavy. I work long hours those 3 days. The other 4 days, Thursday through Sunday, I'm not doing any of that stuff. There may be some scheduling going on if I'm getting messages. I got to take care of those things, but I'm not having a lot of meetings, or I'm not doing a lot of broadcasts during that time at all, because I'm trying to protect those days and make sure I kind of protect my peace.
Yeah.
I didn't do that in the early stages since we started this in 2020, and I learned a couple of hard lessons from that. So for me, I'm like Monday through Wednesday, I'm working long and late, and it's okay. I'm up early. Yeah. And I'm into rush hour traffic. I'm still working, so yeah, I'm okay with that as long as I have those boundaries set.
Yeah.
The Men's Roundtable series is once a month, and it was strategic. So I knew that was the best route, and this was not a big burden there. Inspiration Station is kind of exactly what the word says, but what the name says. It's not happening every single week.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's random throughout the month, because you got to feel that one.
Yeah.
I know that flies against the podcasting rules, but I can't do that every day. So I have to.
Yeah.
I got to feel that, or it's not going to be authentic. So
that
pops up when it pops up. The flagship show, Monday through Wednesday, one-on-one with Mr. U, there's just interviews throughout, and those are always set, and they're usually always live. So
yeah.
And the sports show is one day a week, so it's manageable.
Yeah, you're making it work. Obviously, you're making it work, and I love what you said. Like the one of your shows, you got to feel it, and you just do it when you can, whenever it pops up. That's so important, because there are no rules of podcasting. I love that we can do it however we need to, and the message still gets out there. It doesn't have to be once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. It's whenever we feel led to upload a show. And the key is that people are listening to our episodes from years ago, and they will binge listen. And if they find it interesting, intriguing, it's something they want to hear, they will go back into the archives and listen to something from 7 years ago. So it's like the idea of being on a hamster wheel, not necessary. And so I love that you said, it's just whenever it happens for that show. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Well, okay, let's kind of shift a little bit into personalities, because I'm an introvert, and I've heard you talking about being introverted. And so I'm wondering, what Why do you think introverts make powerful hosts? What advice do you have for those of us that may be second guessing our voice?
I really believe this, and I know that introverts listening to me be like, no, that's not me. It, I've worn that introvert outfit for a long time, and nobody believes it. Nobody ever really believed it because when they hear me talk or see me in certain settings, I'm not showing that. But
Yeah.
I think part of it, and you got to decide where you are in this.
Mm-hmm.
But some introverts, they're like that because of past circumstances that have happened, and now it's a way to self-protect.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to decide. Okay, so some people are just like that, and they've grown up. Maybe their parents didn't allow them to express themselves in the home.
Right.
So they say, so you know what? I'm not going to talk then. And they go into life, into adulthood, well, into teenagers, into teenage years, and into adulthood, not talking because that's what they've learned. So there's a lot of things to go with that. But I think they make powerful hosts because they are super observant.
That's true.
In it's almost like somebody who's lost the sense of the sense of sight. Their hearing is magnified.
Yeah.
So if you're not talking like normal folks or an extrovert does, you're probably gathering so much information. Your sense of hearing and your sensitivity to that is so much higher. And you not only make a great podcast, you make a great host.
Yeah.
Because you learn how to listen. I've been on shows where people, I even had guests on my show that weren't great at listening. They weren't great at, they kind of had their next pitch ready or their next fancy line ready. I'm like, you didn't hear anything I said. You don't even remember what the question was. Right. So it's like, those are kind of things that I think introverts, they thrive at because you spend so much time not talking and so much time listening that you make a fantastic host. You probably made for it.
Right.
As far as using your voice, I think that's the part where, for me, I had to allow myself to say, you know what, I gotta do me, even if it does not, it's not great for analytics or it's not great for listenership numbers. I got to be me. And honestly, I stepped into this whole Mr. You thing. I mean, because people call me out across the country, even little kids. That's where it came from. It came from little kids talking about they couldn't say my name, so they called me Mr. You. That's where it came from. And for me, I'm like, when I talk, if you listen to any of the shows, I'm being me. I'm not trying to be flashy or try to be a shock jock. Right. Being me. And you know what? I'm good with it. I've been good with it now for about 5 years. I'm good with what the next 5 wouldn't look like.
Yeah.
And that's as a self-professed introvert. We got to just be us because we have something valuable to bring to the table, even in our introversion. Yeah. That's something valuable to bring to the table, and we cannot let it die with us. And 2020 was probably one of the worst times in our world's history, but that was a lot of people's coming out party, especially introverts. People started podcasts, they started small businesses, they started startup ventures. A lot of stuff happened in 2020, and you know what? It's time for you to shine, introverts.
There you go.
Come out of it. Come on out.
Come on out
of the shadows. It's time for you to shine.
Yes.
So that's just so much with the people. One thing that you said earlier, I know we kind of far away from it now, but hopefully we can get back to it real quick. Mm-hmm. We were talking about how people who are on the fence and not really sure they want to do this and not feeling great about it and everything.
Right.
You know what, man? Some of that, just be honest, some of that is just people being selfish, to be honest with you. There's a quote that I love. It says, it's more blessed to give than to receive. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks don't really like that or get with that because it runs counter to what the world says around us. But honestly, you feel so much better when you give to other people. The feeling is indescribable. And in the podcast world, as a matter of fact, I'm doing a teaching on this sometime this year. Mm-hmm. On the same premise, but give back to your fellow hosts, get back to your fellow podcast colleagues. Yeah. Jump onto that show, even if your show's not doing that great or you don't like where things are going. Why would that limit you from giving to Demetria's show? Right now, why would you jump on her show on Soul Podcast and jump into some of the episodes that she's putting out there and allow her a chance to resonate with you? Yeah. You know her. She's been there for you. She supported you guys. Jump on her show. Jump in the comments section. Leave her a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, what have you. Mm-hmm. Let her and people who are watching know, you know what? She has something awesome to give. Yeah. Those things come back to you. Sometimes those are seeds for a harvest. And you know what? We sitting there waiting for ours to grow, and we have something we can give to other people. And it just feels good. It feels good to get to other people and support them. I mean, I do this stuff all the time. I don't even know if people see my comments. I'm not even sure if they read the reviews yet. I'm doing it because you know what? That's what I would want for myself.
Yeah.
So they had to give back. So encourage that, because you can't sit there and wallow in self-pity. Help somebody. Support somebody. There were times where my wife and I were homeless. We were homeless 3 times. Oh, we still were in the giving business, even though we didn't have anything. We had generosity in us. I don't know. I know where it came from, but I don't know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we've been givers since I can remember. We've been married almost 30 years now. We've been givers ever since I can remember.
Wow.
We never felt bad about giving to somebody else. We never felt bad about giving somebody our shoes or somebody clothes who didn't have it. We never felt bad about paying for somebody's groceries on the line because their car wasn't working. We never felt bad about that one time. We felt good every single time. There's universal evidence that if we give back, we're going to feel good and somebody's going to be blessed by it. So for all you podcasters who are we on the fence, you're wondering, why should you even be doing this?
Yeah.
Because there's one person who's going to appreciate what you have to do and what you have to offer. And if that's Demetria, if she's the one person, then sow back into her. Support her shows, support her episodes. She's supporting yours. So just encourage one another. Your situation it's going to change. It's going to get better. It's going to grow. But meanwhile, sow some more seeds.
I love that. I love that. Sow some more seeds.
More seeds.
Yeah.
Put some more water on them seeds you already sown.
Yeah. Yeah. In other words, keep planting, keep sowing, keep growing, and don't look at your circumstances and say, well, I don't have quite as many, because this is not a place for competition and being jealous and being all of that stuff. Oof. Right. No, I absolutely love what you're saying right now, because that's what we need to hear more of, and that kind of transcends beyond podcasting and beyond, business. In other words, like this goes into life skills and things that we need to do to be able to receive in our lives. We have to give, and it feels good. It's not like, it's like pulling teeth, right? We when we want to give, there's something behind the desire to help other people. And then seeing the harvest eventually, is beautiful. It's beautiful. And I believe that's what this podcasting should be about, is helping people, because we all have a message. We all have something to share. But if we're doing it just because we're making it part of our business, that's its own thing. There are people that only do it, to accompany their business strategy. And that's fine too, that's what they want to do. But I think there's something beautiful behind a magnetic message that supports your ideal listener, the person that can be ministered to, who can be encouraged through your podcast. There's just something beautiful about that. And I love that's what you're doing with your shows right now. And I believe I read somewhere, I'm not sure if I read this, but I think you have 3 core pillars. Is that accountability, value, and purpose? Am I right? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I want to hear a little bit about that and like how that affects when you're interviewing, when you're creating content, like whatever you're doing, how do accountability, value, and purpose become sort of that core around which you work?
Yeah. Those are huge for me. And not because I feel like I need to teach the world these things. These are just things that I'm teaching myself that I'm growing in. I always felt like accountability and whether it be in mentorship and in leadership were always important. And, on this journey of podcasting, I can see it so clearly. It's like, how do I theoretically pour into somebody's life if I'm empty?
Wow.
So for me, you can't in any possible way. So for me, I want to make sure that I have mentorship and leadership in my life. People who are seeing the things that maybe I'm too blind to see. Maybe they're in my blind spot and I can't see it. Because I'm opening my mouth here. I'm not just hitting record. This is why I say, if you have a story, it does not mean you are a podcaster. Don't go buy a whole bunch of equipment and do this just because you got a story.
Right.
It doesn't mean go write a book and you got a story. It doesn't mean that. There's a character that you got to have to do this. I know a lot of people have podcasts and they don't have that. They probably have more people watching than we do, and they're talking about anything of any kind of value or any kind of worth. And I recognize that it's true. It's the reality of our world.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I want to make sure that I have something to give, something to offer that's authentic and valuable. I don't want to just be. There's times where I've been, I don't call it podcasters block. I don't know what you call it, where I just don't have anything. Stuff's going on in my life. I'm still getting revelation in life. I'm still growing, but for the podcasting space, I didn't have anything, and I didn't do anything.
Okay.
But what? It's time for me to shut this down. Take some time to sit and soak a little bit, kind of deal with whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And I came back, and some of my best episodes were the ones that came back from those breaks from.
Yeah.
Because I was recharged. I had a renewed focus.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability played a big part in that. Purpose is something I just talk about. I probably had a 30-year coaching career. I just wasn't getting paid for it, except about 4 of those years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but purpose is the one thing. Every question I've ever heard for nearly 30 years now, all different questions from all different vantage points and perspectives, but they all were leading to the same thing.
Right.
My purpose. Why am I here?
Right.
What should I be doing? And it was the foundation for every coaching venture I've ever had, even the one that I'm going to be starting again soon. It's been the purpose. Our old mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, he's going on to be. Yeah, but he has two listeners that love to quote all the time. I should get credit for it. I quote him that much. But one of them says that, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Whoa.
I just, I think about that not only with what we're doing, but not just with our business plans and our entrepreneurship goals, but also with the life aspect to it.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing and why you're here.
Yeah.
You're going to make a mess of things.
So true.
That needs to be our focus. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you here? What's the point of this?
Yeah.
Because if we're doing anything else other than that, we're kind of just, making a mess of things and probably leaving a wake of destruction behind us. So this is the big deal. And the value part is just, I'm hoping that when people hear our shows, any of our shows really, because I think even in our sports show, I still got faith weaved in there. It's still in it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that people get value from that. And I know we're not in the top 0.5 globally. That's fine. We don't have the biggest numbers and everything. It's fine. But I'm hoping when people hear it, that they get value from what we're putting out here. And
that's right.
And they at least create some questions or things that maybe, perhaps we can start paying more attention to.
Yeah.
That we've been ignoring. And I try to highlight a lot of that stuff, especially on 2 of our shows specifically, just to offer that value, because at the end of the day, there's so much junk out here and people like junk food.
That's true.
It's just a reality. You can try to offer cheese doodle, but most folks want the other stuff. The cheese doodle tastes good. It gets stuck on your fingers that they know is not good for them, but it just tastes so good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to offer something that's not junk food, something healthier, something that is value added, and hopefully it's making a difference in somebody's world.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this a few times. Your accountability, value, and purpose. And one thing that really stood out to me that you just said is how you marinated on, a podcast when you felt like you just need to step back for a minute. Like, I don't have anything to give right now, and I'm just going to take a break and figure it out. That's okay. We need to give ourselves permission to take a break and recalibrate and see what it is that's in our heart. Because if there's nothing there, if we don't have that purpose anymore, or we just are feeling a little bit empty and we need to refuel, then we shouldn't just keep pushing, because the message it's not inspired anymore. So I love that you are giving us permission to take breaks when needed. And very, very important, because we're coming to this with purpose. And that's a key word for today's show, purpose. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. One more question, and then I want you to share about how we can reach you. But for those who we're talking a little bit about the messy behind the message. So there's a lot of folks out here who we have messy stories. We have a lot of things we want to put out there and share, but we want to do it in a way that honors our our path and helps other people to be encouraged in their path. So what would you say to them to inspire them to step behind the mic and get started making an impact with their voice? If they're feeling a little introverted, they're feeling, even if it's not even a personality thing, they're just feeling like, who's going to listen to this? Like, this is just junk food. Who's going to listen to this? Some people aren't going to consider this valuable. How would you encourage them to go ahead and make that impact?
Okay. Well, if you're really, really sold on the idea that using your voice in this way is the best route, because people do blogs, people do poetry, people do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what makes, honestly, to be fair, I don't even know what makes people that are thinking about podcasting even want to be podcasters. I don't know what spark. I don't know the specific situation.
Right.
Hope it's not a fad they're trying to chase. Hopefully not. But I don't know what it is. But just in general, generally speaking, if you're pondering that, there may be something to it. There may be something that you have of value. And you know what? One thing you can't do is look at what you got right now and think, this is why I can't do this, because this could be a platform for something future down the line. Mm-hmm. You could be a best-selling author down the line. You haven't even thought about writing a book, and the platform is already being prepared. So this is basically just the early stages of seed sowing.
Yes,
that's what this is. Because in 2020, I had no intention of being a podcast. I wouldn't think about that. I got fired from my job. My cousin died. It was a whole bunch of stuff. But I wouldn't even think about podcasting.
Wow.
It was like, I was always a writer since I was 6 years old. So writing and journaling were normal for me. I had so many thoughts and feelings and stories and instances. And in 2020, I wasn't feeling the therapy that I normally felt.
Yeah.
Doing that, I didn't feel it at all. I'm like, the old way is not working anymore. How am I going to do now? And that's how the whole podcasting thing started happening. I had to find a new way. So some of you guys that are watching and listening may be looking for a new way to have, to express yourself, to form a self-expression, have your voice be a help to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Honestly, there's nothing else to do but to begin to just start recording. I'll give you all the little tips and talk about. I know people who are planning right now. They've been planning for about 3 years and they haven't hit record yet.
Wow.
That's not going to work. They didn't hit record. Some people have the idea that they're going to write everything out. They have that kind of on a script. Some people use a teleprompter app you can get on your phone. Mm-hmm. Some people just kind of have bullet points and then they kind of just riff off of those and kind of share stories and stuff. Whichever route works for you, get that set and start recording, because once you start recording the first episode and the fifth and the 10th, you'll find it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
As you move forward. But the hardest one is the very first episode.
That's so true.
Gotta start it. You have to go live, you can record it, look at it, edit it, see if you like how it is, and do it over again. Mm-hmm. Don't overdo it, but you can do it over again if you have to. And just start that process, because I really believe that if you're thinking about podcasting this much, and you believe there's something that you have that's of value in you to say, more than likely, because of the kind of world that we live in and kind of how we're all wired, somebody out there is waiting to hear from you. And you're depriving them of the opportunity by holding back, being lazy, by constantly changing your mind and not being decisive. You're keeping them from receiving something important. If you think it's that important to podcasts, it's probably important for somebody to hear it too.
Wow. That's a mic drop moment right there. Wow. There's somebody out there that wants to hear it because you've been thinking about saying it for a while and just been on the edge. But thank you so much. That was good. And again, I'm going to have to go back and listen a few times to this because it's very inspiring.
To move, I went wrong.
No, you're perfect. And we want to hear how we can reach you, because you have a lot of shows, but we want to be able to reach you and see the work you're doing and the impact you're making. So how can we find out more?
Normally, I'm on all the socials. I do have accounts for everything, but I'm not emphasizing every social anymore. This is a recent development. So Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are the primary areas where you can find me. But if you go to the callmemistu.buzzsprout.com, you can find all of the links there and easy ways to get me. You can send me a private message if you have any questions regarding coaching or purpose, or if you want a free consultation, happy to do that for you.
Nice.
Call me MrU.Buzzsprout.com. And of course, as we evolve, you start seeing more stuff on the books coming out, the new coaching practice, all the things that can't really get into yet.
Right.
Be exciting. I'm excited about the new beginnings, the new adventures that are getting ready to happen. But
Yeah,
call me
that's
MrU.Buzzsprout.com.
They call me MrU.Buzzsprout.com. We'll get that in the show notes, and can't wait to see your journey unfold and where God is leading you, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.